Hello there and welcome to another Premier League preview. It's Newcastle versus Liverpool, the penultimate game in the Premier League season, game number 37, and there's only going to be one left after that. But we're focused on tonight's game, 7:45 on a Saturday, a very rare occurrence. In fact, I don't know if it's happened a lot this season to start a kickoff at 7:45 on a Saturday night, but that is what's happening. We're going to Newcastle in the hopes of that we can just pick up a win. And that is, a lot of people may turn around and say, well, yeah, it's Newcastle. You've got to pick up the win. You can probably easily pick up the win. Newcastle are on a little bit of a run of form, and I think they've won 2 out of their last 3, drawing the other as well. They've come up against some good opposition and beaten them as well. They've come up against some good opposition this season and not done so well. But I firmly believe that we can get the victory there, but I do not think that it will be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. Some people think that I'm a little bit, like when I've spoken to people about the Newcastle game, they're like, oh, you're going to smash them lot, and I'm like, I don't think that we will. I just don't think that we will. I think we've got a lot to recover from midweek against Barcelona, in a game where I actually felt that we played well, but we just didn't take our chances, which has kind of been like, I always talk about the chances and shots on target that we have in a game and how many actually get converted, or how many shots we have in a game and how many of them are actually on target. That was an issue against Barcelona. Now, I see a problem with it being, people can say, well, you can take heart in that you performed well against Barcelona and you just didn't put it in the back of the net. The flip side of that is, we played very well and we couldn't get anything out of that game. Now, is that going to do anything for the morale of the team? I don't know. I really don't know. Now, some people may see this game as being an opportunity for other people in the team, maybe fringe players and such like that. I can see their point, and I can see a point for some of them, maybe 1 or 2 of them coming into this game, but otherwise, we are still very much in this title race. This title race is still going on, despite what people might turn around and say about Liverpool, and whatever people will turn around and say about Man City, and the fact that they're going to play Leicester this weekend, and people are obviously going to be wanting Leicester to beat Man City, and of course I want Leicester to beat Man City as well. It would then give us the chance of going on to perhaps lifting and winning the title. But as I said to, I think I was speaking to my dad about this, and I said, how poetic would it be? Man City lose to Leicester and we don't pick up a win against Newcastle. I'm just going to leave that one there for you just for a couple of seconds, just because. Doesn't it sound like it's written for that to happen? Doesn't it? And I'm smiling, not because I want it to happen, but I can see it happening. I just can. I don't know why. I can just see it happening. Leicester go and get a result or something, a draw, a win against Newcastle, and we don't pick up a win against. Man City don't pick up the win against Leicester, I should say, not Newcastle, and then we don't go and pick up a result against Newcastle. I don't know why. I can just see something like that happening. Probably won't happen. Man City will probably go and smash Leicester. We'll maybe pick up the victory against Newcastle. Then it's down to the last game of the season. Don't know who they play, but we play Wolves. Anyway, let's get into this game. Newcastle, they're in 13th position right now, and they are trying, I don't know if they're trying as hard as they can to keep hold of Rafa Benitez, but in my opinion, not just because I'm a Liverpool fan and what he did for us, they need to keep hold of Rafa Benitez and then give him some money. Because what he's doing with Newcastle right now with limited funding is very, very, very good. And he's taking some players like Salomon Rondon. Didn't light the world on fire at West Brom, but he looks like a natural fit for Newcastle. And then the rumour is that Mike Ashley doesn't want to end up signing him on a permanent deal. Yeah, brilliant idea. Ayoze Perez looks like he's trying to get his way out of Newcastle as well by putting in some good performances, scoring a hat-trick recently as well. Look, it's one of those things, isn't it? They need the funding to propel themselves into that area where they believe that they should be for a club of their stature, their size, their fan base, the size of the stadium and such like that. They should be pushing the likes of Leicester, Wolves and such like that, but without funding, they won't. And it's just how it is. So, looking to Liverpool though, how are we going to line up? There's rumours that we could go with some fringe players. The one fringe player I would love to see is Shaqiri. If we're going to have anybody come into the starting 11, it would be Shaqiri. I really want to see him play in this game. I really want to see him play full stop. While we have done well as a team, I think there's been opportunities to bring someone like Shaqiri in. Now, whether he's been suffering from injuries lately or not, I am not entirely sure. Apparently so, some abdominal issues or something like that. But the dude's a tank. He probably could have got on with it, to be fair. But I would love to see Shaqiri come in somewhere. Say, if we can't play Firmino in this game, which is rumour that he might be ready, he might not be. He might not be risked and might be saved if we can have him for Barcelona. Then, hey, why not put Sadio Mane back up front? And then instead of going with Gini Wijnaldum as a false 9, we can then have like we can have Shaqiri on the left-hand side of the front three. How about that? That would sound pretty good. Or if you wanted to, you could go with Sadio Mane, keep him on the left, Salah up front, and you go with Shaqiri on the right-hand side. Or if you really wanted to, you could switch it again and you go Shaqiri in the false 9, Mane, Salah, left and right. Look, there's options, but I would love to see Shaqiri come in if he can get the opportunity. One person I do think that we will see and get a start in this game, purely because of the unfortunate injury that's happened to Naby Keita, which means he's out for the rest of this season for us, which is, alright, he's only out for 2 months, but still, that's big for him, and it's big for us, because I felt that he was really getting into the groove of Liverpool. He was finding his form, finding his feet, and just at that moment, it was a bit like Ox last year. Ox was really like finding his feet, he was getting good form, he was putting in good performances, and then he got a serious injury. Now this one isn't as lengthy as Ox's injury was, but speaking of Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain can come into the Naby Keita role. Now, while he isn't going to necessarily, possess that passing ability that, Naby Keita has, what he does possess over Keita, that we know of, in centre midfield, is pace in abundance and a fearlessness to get in front of goal and have a shot or set something up for somebody else. I think that he can fill that role very, very well. And if he does it well against Newcastle, maybe he could be in line to feature against Barcelona, which would be something that they don't have in midfield. But we're not talking about Barcelona's second leg yet. Then next to him in midfield, I would go with Fabinho and Henderson. I just feel that it works very well, and I felt that we missed that when we don't have it. Henderson being able to do everything moving forward in the middle and coming back as well, box to box pretty much, and Fabinho being the absolute rock that he is. Now, the defensive lineup for me doesn't change a great deal in terms of I would still have Trent at right back. I'd like to see Gomez at centre back if we can do it, and then Van Dijk, the old Van Dijk-Gomez partnership, which was brilliant earlier on in the season. Andy Robertson at left back and Alisson in goal. And then up front, depending on if Firmino can play, even then I would maybe not start Firmino. I would probably go with Shaqiri, Mane and Salah in whatever combination that you want to have up front. Right, so in terms of a result though, what can we expect from this game? I expect to be stifled quite a lot. I expect it's a Rafa Benitez team. He's going to want to stifle you, limit your chances, be as compact as possible. And against us, we have found ways to get through teams where, they do set up deep against us and they want to counter-attack against us as well. I feel that Newcastle's issue will be the fact that they don't have... I don't know if Almiron is still injured, but I don't know if they have that counter-attacking pace. And I literally say that I don't know. Apart from possibly Atsu, but I don't know if he plays much, to be honest. So I don't know if they have that counter-attacking pace. Now, if then they don't set up deep against us and they try the counter-attack, I don't really know what else that they could try. Apart from having, Rondon versus Van Dijk. And I don't know who would... I personally feel, obviously, Van Dijk would come out on top in that battle pretty much 100% of the time. That's just my opinion. But I don't really know what else they would try to do. Passing it around us, yeah, it could work for the first 10-15 minutes if we start slow, but once we get into our groove, if we don't hit the ground running, then they'll find it difficult to pass it around us, and then we will keep possession and move forward with it. I feel personally that we can come out this game with a 2-0 victory. I think that we'll be able to put the pressure on Newcastle, we'll want to put the pressure on Newcastle, and sort of get ourselves over the Barcelona result in midweek, as well as putting ourselves in as good a position as possible at the top end of the table. So I think we can come out there with a 2-0 victory. I don't think it'd be easy. I don't think it's always going to be enjoyable to watch. but breaking down a Rafa Benitez-led team is never really an enjoyable task. So I think we can do it. Don't think it's going to be easy. I'm hoping there's not going to be a shock on the cards, but if there is a shock on the cards, it's bye-bye the title, regardless of what happens with Man City and Leicester. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you are new around here. Get your thoughts and comments in the comments box below, and I'll catch you later.